All right, let's talk about the market because right now it is stretched to its absolute limit. We're at a really critical point, facing conditions that are so extreme that historically they've led to a massive move. The only real question is, which way is it going to go? So that's the big question, right? Are we about to see this huge explosive rebound? Or are we staring down the barrel of one last painful collapse? All the evidence we're seeing points to one of these two things happening, and happening really, really soon. You can just feel it. The situation is getting totally unsustainable. It's like this pressure cooker environment. And what happens in a pressure cooker? Eventually it blows. That's where we are. It really feels like a now or never moment. So to really get why this moment is so critical, we got to look at what's happening outside the charts first. The whole backdrop for this market drama is a stage set with some super high-stakes political deadlines and a lot of conflicting geopolitical noise. I mean, look at this mix. It's wild. You've got Trump sending these completely mixed signals on Iran. One minute it's negotiations are going great, the next it's a devastating attack is on the table. That alone creates huge uncertainty. But then you layer on the politics here at home. The clock is ticking, and it's ticking loudly for the midterms. Polymarket is giving an 85% chance that the Democrats lose control. So you can bet the administration desperately needs a win, and fast. What does a win look like? Falling gas prices, a rising stock market. And they need it before mid-April. That's a powerful force pushing for something to happen. And it's not just the headlines, the actual hard data. The charts themselves are telling a story of pure exhaustion. We've got a whole bunch of technical and sentiment indicators that are basically flashing red, screaming that the market is just completely worn out. Just look at this. I mean, the Nasdaq, 11 straight weeks in the red. 11 weeks. It's almost unheard of. In the past, whenever we've seen streaks like this, they've almost always happened right at major market bottoms. It's a classic sign of seller exhaustion. Like there's just nobody left to panic sell. The S&P 500 being down 5 weeks in a row just adds to that picture. This isn't just a pullback, this feels like exhaustion. And here's the mechanical side of this whole thing, which is super interesting. These big systematic funds, called commodity trading advisors, or CTAs, have been selling like crazy. Their selling has hit the highest level we've seen since the 2020 crash. So here's the kicker. They've pretty much run out of things to sell. What happens when there's nothing left to sell and the market ticks up even a little? They're forced to buy. And that buying can act like rocket fuel for a rally. And man, when you see this much selling, there's a ton of fear out there. The number of bearish put options, basically bets that the market is going to tank, is completely through the roof. We're talking levels of pessimism that we've only seen during moments of total, all-out capitulation. This is what peak fear looks like. And as any good contrarian trader will tell you, that's often a massive buy signal. So it all comes down to this. We are at a point of just complete and total extremity. And when you look back at history, moments like this have either been the bottom or, at the very least, they've kicked off some really, really interesting bounces. And so far, we haven't gotten either. Okay, so let's use crypto as a kind of case study here, because it's basically the broader market on steroids. It's what they call a high beta example, and it's showing us this exact same rebound or collapse drama playing out in real time. Just like the big stock indexes, Bitcoin is screaming oversold. It's fallen way too far, way too fast. And history shows us when Bitcoin gets to this point of pressure, one of two things usually happens next. And here they are. Path number one is the big rebound, a really sharp, powerful snapback rally right from where we are now. And interestingly, the smart money seems to be betting heavily on this one. But then there's path number two, the final shakeout. One last nasty drop, maybe down to that 50 to 54K zone, just to scare absolutely everyone out before the real recovery begins. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the charts, because there are some really cool clues here. Bitcoin did something a little worrying. It broke below its recent low, but it was immediately bought back up with a really strong bounce. The key now is it has to get back above that 69 to 70K level, and it has to do it fast. But what's really fascinating is Ethereum. It showed what we call relative strength. It didn't break its low and bounced hard off a key support level. Is ETH trying to tell us something? Meanwhile, 40% of altcoins have hit brand new cycle lows, which is a huge sign of that widespread capitulation we were just talking about.
Okay, so we've got all this tension, all this pressure building up. What's going to be the thing that finally breaks the dam? Well, this coming week is absolutely jam-packed with events that are pretty much guaranteed to force the market's hand.
So you're going to want to keep your eyes on the calendar this week. On Tuesday, we've got consumer confidence. Then Wednesday, it's the ADP jobs data. And the real heavyweight comes on Friday, the official employment report. In an environment this tense, any one of these could be the spark. And it's not even just the big economic reports. You've got a couple of other things at play this week that are just going to crank up the volatility. First, it's a holiday week. That means less people are trading, so any moves can get way more exaggerated. And second, it's the end of the month. That's when all the big funds have to rebalance their books, which always stirs things up.
So when you put it all together, the conclusion is actually pretty simple. It brings us right back to where we started. It's all or nothing. You've got extreme fear, critical technical levels on the chart, and a week full of catalysts. The stalemate is about to break, one way or another.
And that leaves us with the billion-dollar question, right? With all this craziness coming to a head, are we looking at a massive opportunity, or is this just an elaborate trap? I guess we're all about to find out.